Imagine this, Jesus, the Son of God, scrolling through your timeline. What would he post? Would he share selfies from the Sea of Galilee or go live to preach the Sermon on the Mount? It's an intriguing thought, isn't it? In a world where social media dominates how we connect and express ourselves, it's easy to lose sight of the deeper impact these platforms have on our hearts and souls. Social media was designed to bring people together, to share ideas, and to foster community. But let's be honest, how often does it feel like the opposite? Instead of connection, we see pride on display as people compete for likes and validation. Instead of gratitude, we feel the sting of envy, comparing our lives to carefully curated highlights. And instead of peace, we're drawn into arguments, judgment, and even hatred. So here's the question we need to ask ourselves. Are we using these platforms in a way that reflects the love, grace, and truth of Christ? Or have we let them become stumbling blocks, leading us away from the values we claim to hold? Today, let's dive deep into this topic, not just to explore how social media impacts our spiritual lives, but to ask the most important question of all. What would Jesus post? Social media is like a magnifying glass for the human heart. It doesn't create new sins, it simply amplifies what's already there. Let's start with pride. How often do we find ourselves chasing likes, shares, or followers, measuring our worth by how others react to our posts? The drive for validation can become an obsession, turning what could be a simple platform for expression into a stage for self-promotion. Then there's envy. Scrolling through picture-perfect vacations, dream homes, and smiling faces can leave us feeling like we're falling short. What we don't see are the struggles behind the scenes, but that doesn't stop us from comparing our lives to someone else's highlight reel. The Bible warns us about this in Proverbs 14:30, which says, "A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones." And what about anger? Have you ever been drawn into a heated comment thread, typing furiously to prove your point or defend your beliefs? Social media has a way of turning even small disagreements into public battles, fueling resentment and division. Proverbs 29:11 reminds us, "Fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end." At its core, the issue isn't the platforms themselves. Social media is a tool, neither good nor evil. The problem lies in how we use it. Proverbs 4:23 tells us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." If our hearts are consumed by pride, envy, or anger, that's what we'll reflect online. But if we fill our hearts with God's truth and grace, our presence, even in the digital world, can be a force for good. If Jesus were active on social media, his presence would be unlike anything we've ever seen. His posts wouldn't be about self-promotion or building a following for vanity. Every word, every action would have a singular purpose: transforming lives and revealing the truth of God's kingdom. Think of the way Jesus taught through parables, weaving profound truths into simple stories. Online, he might share posts that illuminate spiritual truths in relatable ways, inviting people to reflect and engage. His feed wouldn't be cluttered with arguments or boasting, but filled with messages of hope, love, and purpose. Imagine a tweet saying, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." A short, powerful reminder in a noisy digital world. And Jesus wouldn't shy away from confronting injustice. When he faced the religious leaders of his day, he exposed their hypocrisy and defended the oppressed. On social media, he might call out modern injustices, advocating for the marginalized and encouraging his followers to live out their faith in action. But even in his boldness, his words would carry compassion and truth, never hatred or division. Perhaps most striking would be his grace. Remember the story of the woman caught in adultery, brought before him to be condemned? Jesus didn't post her failures for the world to see. Instead, he offered her forgiveness and a chance to begin anew. On social media, he might use his platform to remind us of the power of mercy, urging us to extend the same to others. Ultimately, Jesus wouldn't be concerned with likes, followers, or algorithms. His focus would remain on what truly matters, bringing light to darkness, lifting up the brokenhearted, and calling people to a deeper relationship with God. His presence online would challenge us, inspire us, and most importantly, change us. The question is, are we willing to follow his example? Social media, for all its benefits, can easily become a breeding ground for toxic behaviors. Let's start with one of the most damaging: spreading misinformation. How often do we see headlines, rumors, or conspiracy theories shared without verification? A single false post can snowball into widespread confusion, leading people astray. The Bible warns us about the weight of our words in Matthew 12:36. But I tell you that everyone will have to give account on the day of judgment for every empty word they have spoken. Imagine having to account for every careless share, every unverified claim. How would we fare? Then there's gossip. It's easy to fall into the trap of discussing others behind their backs, especially when social media offers anonymity and distance. Comment threads and private messages can quickly become places of judgment and slander. But Proverbs 16:28 reminds us, a perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends. Sharing harmful words about others doesn't just hurt them, it damages our own integrity. Another toxic behavior is participating in or ignoring cyberbullying. Whether it's harsh comments, public shaming, or outright harassment, the harm caused by these actions is real and lasting. As followers of Christ, we are called to build others up, not tear them down. Ephesians 4:29 teaches, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." Finally, let's talk about hypocrisy, the temptation to present a false version of ourselves online. Filters, curated content, and highlight reels create an illusion of perfection, masking our struggles and flaws. This can lead others to envy or feelings of inadequacy, but worse, it distances us from the authenticity God desires. Jesus warned against this in Matthew 23:28. In the same way, on the outside you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness. The good news is that these behaviors are not inevitable. We can choose to use our platforms for good, fact-checking before sharing, avoiding gossip, standing against bullying, and being real about our lives. Every post, comment, and interaction is an opportunity to reflect God's love and truth. The question is, are we willing to take responsibility for the words we speak online? Social media doesn't have to be a place of division, pride, or toxicity. Instead, it can become a powerful platform to reflect the light of Christ in a world often shrouded in darkness. Jesus calls us in Matthew 5:14-16, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." So how can we let that light shine in our digital interactions? First, be intentional about what you share. Fill your feed with content that uplifts, encourages, and points others to hope. Whether it's a Bible verse, a personal testimony, or even a kind word, your posts can become a source of inspiration for others. It doesn't have to be grand. Sometimes, a simple reminder of God's love can make a world of difference to someone scrolling through a difficult day. Second, approach discussions with peace and respect. The internet is full of debates that quickly spiral into arguments, but as followers of Christ, we're called to a higher standard. Romans 12:18 urges us, "If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone." Instead of fueling the fire, we can choose to respond with grace, listening more than we speak, and always seeking to understand before being understood. Third, use social media as a tool for evangelism. Share your story. How has God worked in your life? What prayers has He answered? What struggles has He carried you through? Your testimony can be a beacon of hope for someone who feels lost or forgotten. And don't be afraid to share the truth of Scripture. A verse that spoke to your heart today might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Finally, remember that your online presence is an extension of your faith. Every comment, every like, every post is an opportunity to reflect Christ's character. Are your interactions marked by love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control? When people see you online, do they see a reflection of God's light? Social media isn't just a platform, it's a mission field. By choosing to use it with purpose and intention, we can shine brightly in the digital world, drawing others closer to the one who is the source of all light. At the end of the day, social media is like a mirror. It reflects what's in our hearts. The pride, envy, and anger we see online are not just problems of technology. They reveal deeper spiritual struggles within us. But the good news is that God gives us the power to transform our hearts. And when that transformation happens, it changes everything, including the way we use social media. So here's a question to reflect on. What do your posts say about who you are? Do they reflect Jesus? When someone visits your profile, do they see love, humility, and grace? Or do they see pride, conflict, or a longing for validation? These platforms offer an incredible opportunity to show the world what it means to live a life anchored in Christ. Today, I want to leave you with a challenge. Take a moment to think about how you can use your social media as a tool for good. Share something uplifting. Encourage someone who's struggling. Post a verse that's impacted your life. Let your words and actions glorify God and point others to Him. Jesus called us to be the light of the world, and that includes the digital world. So let's commit to using our online presence to make a difference, a presence that blesses, uplifts, and shines His love into the lives of others. What will you post today to reflect His light? If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How are you planning to reflect Christ in your social media today? And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring content that can help you live out your faith in every area of your life. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to be encouraged and challenged. Let's walk this journey together, shining His light into the world.